everybody, my name is Ian. I work at the Fort Worth Public Library, and today we're going to be taking a look at the scientific method. It is a great way to do science experiments, and especially doing them in class so that way you answer questions but also get some results that will hopefully get you a good grade. The scientific method is a very important one because it's a process for experimentation that eventually answers questions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the steps of the scientific method. First, we're going to make an observation. Second, we'll ask a question about that observation and gather more information. Usually that's called research. Third, we're going to form a hypothesis. Now, a hypothesis is an educated guess, right? So we're going to take the information that we've learned from our research and create an educated guess. Fourth, we're going to test that hypothesis. This is the fun part. We get to really experiment and see if our hypothesis was correct. Next, we're going to analyze the data that we got from the experiment and find out if that hypothesis was correct. And step 6 is to use the results to make a new hypothesis or prediction. If our hypothesis was correct, though, we're good to go. As an example of the scientific method, I'm going to be doing an experiment that everyone is very familiar with, mixing baking soda and vinegar. We all know that they create a reaction together, but let's walk through the steps of the scientific method to put this experiment to the test. Don't forget, on the website there are plenty of resources for you to put your own experiments together. My favorite is going to be the World Book for Kids. That one actually shows several experiments you can do right at home. So let's put the scientific method to the test for this experiment. We'll start off on step 1, which of course is to make an observation. And I recall whenever I see baking soda and vinegar mixed together, they have a chemical reaction. I've made an observation. Step 1, complete. Now that I've made an observation about baking soda and vinegar when mixed together, let's move on to step 2. Ask a question about the observation and gather information. Well, what kind of question could I ask about it? Oh, I know. If vinegar, which is a type of liquid, makes a reaction with baking soda, does another liquid react with baking soda as well? Now that I've asked a question, let's put the research behind it and find out. After doing some research on the Libby app, I've discovered that baking soda is a weak base and vinegar is a pretty strong acid, so I wonder if other acids react with baking soda. But what would another acid be? After completing some more research, I've found out that there is acid in soda and also lemon juice. So I wonder if lemon juice and soda also react with baking soda. Alright, step 2 of the scientific method is done. Check that off the list. Let's move on to step 3, which is form a hypothesis. So, baking soda is a base, vinegar is an acid, soda has acid, and so does lemon juice. So my hypothesis is that both soda and lemon juice will also react with baking soda. I finished step 2 of the scientific method. Let's move on to step 3 of the scientific method, which is to form a hypothesis or an educated guess. With vinegar being an acid and baking soda being a base, my educated guess is that lemon juice and soda, since they are both acids or have acids in them, will also react with baking soda. So now it's literally time to put our hypothesis to the test. Now, whenever conducting a scientific experiment, always make sure to wear the proper protection. I'm going to go ahead and put these on because I am going to be working with an acid, which is lemon juice. So I've prepared my ingredients for this experiment, which are lemon juice and baking soda. I have a measured set amount of baking soda that I'll use each time, and then a measured amount of liquid that I'll use for each of these 2 experiments. Remember that consistency is key. You definitely want to make sure that your results are accurate, and if you have variables, that can throw off the results. I have my baking soda, I have my lemon juice. Now when we combine them, let's see if they react the same way that vinegar and baking soda does. I think that gives us an answer, right? Alright, I have my second experiment ready to go. Again, the same amount of baking soda, the same amount of soda. Let's see if these 2 react. Oh, not as much. Even with the carbonation from the soda, it doesn't seem that the baking soda and the soda reacted very much. Alright, we've completed the testing, or step 4 of the scientific method. Let's move on to step 5, so I don't need these anymore. We're going to take a look and analyze the data drawn and draw our conclusions from that. Also, accept or reject the hypothesis. Let's think. What did we see whenever we mixed the lemon juice and the baking soda? We saw a reaction that was almost the same as what I would see with vinegar and baking soda. So my hypothesis of lemon juice and baking soda reacting, that seems to be a true one. Taking a look at the soda and baking soda mixing together, there wasn't very much of a reaction there. Even though soda does have some acid in it, it doesn't have enough to react, or at least not make a very big reaction. So the lemon juice reacting with the baking soda, that was true. The baking soda reacting with the soda, that was false. That one didn't work. So I'm going to need to go back and move on to step 6 of the scientific method, which is to use the results to make a new hypothesis or prediction. Now it's time to move on and use the results of our experiment to create a new hypothesis or prediction. I think strong acids like lemon juice and vinegar react well with baking soda, but any weak acids, maybe like the weak acids in soda, they don't have such a strong reaction. And that's it, we finished the scientific method. But now it makes me wonder, is there a way to tell exactly how much of a reaction we were getting from the acid and the base? There's got to be a way to measure that, and maybe if we put a balloon over the top of the container whenever the reaction was occurring, we'd be able to tell how inflated that balloon was to get basically a numeric result and tell us exactly how well each acid reacts with the baking soda. There's a lot of different ways to change this experiment so that way you get quantified answers instead of just a yes/no. Use your imagination and think about how you would conduct this experiment. Don't forget you can check out the Fort Worth Public Library's website for more resources and even ways to create your own experiments. And don't forget you can do your research on there as well to create those great hypotheses. To access the resources on the Fort Worth Public Library's website, head to fortworthlibrary.org. Then scroll down to Catalog on the left side of the screen. Click on Databases and Database Access, Fort Worth, and finally click on All Databases, which will show you all the available databases for you to use. And down at the bottom, you'll see World Book for Kids. On this website, you can then click on Experiments or Science Projects. On this website, you'll be able to click on Science Projects on the lower part of the screen and then choose your topic. We also have other great videos for you to check out here on the Fort Worth Public Library's social media channels. Make sure to check them all out.